They're back, it's Roxy Strier's time to shine. Adam's in his Swamp Thing prime. Johnny L, he's so sublime. Mikey, Christmas, Batman time. DC fans, it's finally time to talk FanDome time.
Wow, some of us are better than others. Wow. Boom. Welcome back to DC movie news. Did I just say that?
Did you? Yeah, it's like we never left. Multiverse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a week it's been, right?
Reunited and it feels so good. Wow, that was a cringe singing version of that.
What was that, Rox?
Was that Linda Hamilton? We'll see.
It was Blurred Lines in Jamaica.
I've been alone for a really long time. Everything I say, I sing these days. It's what keeps it entertaining in the Strier household. We are doing a reunion episode for a really good reason today. We just all watched 4 hours of DC FanDome, and we're back. We're back with a vengeance. Oh, what does he say? What's Batman say in the trailer?
Vengeance.
Vengeance. Yeah.
That he is, in fact, vengeance.
I am vengeance.
Oh,
it was not good. You think
perfect imitation,
perfect singing, perfect imitation. We're on a roll. Let's go for a trifecta. What you got next, Rox?
She's lost not a step.
No. Just still
nary a step. Roxy Strier still at the top of the game.
That's right. I am Roxy Strier and proud of it, but I'm not here alone. Thank goodness, because nobody wants to watch that. Mike Kalinowski next to me. What's up, Mikey Christmas?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Mike.
Hey.
How you doing? I feel like a little more subdued for somebody who just watched 4 hours of DC content.
I'm tired, Rox. I'm old and I'm tired. I'm working doubles. Like, I went from being retired and I loved it to now, like, I'm full on back, like, at 2 different things, and I'm working doubles with, like, Halloween Horror Nights going on, and I'm at, like, Waterworld and stuff during the day. So, and I'm an old man. I could do this in my 30s and 20s, but now that's rough.
No. He's got no cartilage in his leg. Right. He can barely walk. He's putting the suit back
but
on.
I'm doing good. I was up this morning, ready to go, raring to go.
All right. Well, I'll take it then. Next to him, also raring to go, ? Johnny LaQuasto. What's up, Johnny?
Change that question mark to an exclamation point. Woo! All right. We're back. We're shining like chrome. We're in the FanDome. It's been too long. So much to talk about. I'm going to take a sip of my water. Let's get going.
I have a hard time saying that word. FanDome.
Water? FanDome?
No, FanDome. DC FanDome. Because I say fandom, right? You guys, you're good at that? All right. He's better with the words. Adam Gertler. Hey, Adam.
Hey, guys. What's up?
I mean,
look like you're about to be a father.
Yeah. I'm days away from parenthood.
It's days?
Days away.
Oh, you are days?
Well, yeah. I mean, she's due on November 1st, so it really could happen at any moment. We have all these things going on. We're going to try to go see the Rolling Stones tomorrow. She's going to be the most pregnant person there. That's going to be fun.
They're playing again?
Yeah, 2 shows. 2 shows in LA.
Shit.
I mean, look, Rolling Stones plus some jalapenos, that might be enough for inducing. You never know.
I actually, the reason I went to the show the other day was not because I was being greedy. I needed to mark all the access and emergency exit points. I needed to scope out the parking situation at SoFi Stadium, and I did that. And now I'm ready to take my very pregnant wife. What a weekend, though, to get Stone Show, FanDome. It just goes on and on. It's kind of crazy. And I mean, there's like new episodes that they left you too. If like, not to jump ahead, but they dropped 2 episodes of Young Justice, right? Like, what a great little treat. So much fun. Good to see everybody. Look who else is here. Is that Ryan?
Talk about satisfaction. Rolling Stone song.
Wow, am I rubbing off on you, Ryan Nelson? Everybody only here for like 20 more minutes, so we got to get all of our Ryan questions and thoughts
popping in and out, like Alfred in that Batman trailer. How are you guys doing? I missed you guys so much.
Another phenomenal reference. Yeah, we did. We got a Batman trailer. I mean, that was were you guys watching in the YouTube chat? Because in the IGN or there was a few of them they're playing this on YouTube. It wasn't just in DCFandom.com. Were you guys watching on the website or are you watching on the YouTube?
I watched on their link, their website.
Okay.
I think I watched on IGN actually.
Were you looking at the chat?
Yes.
No, not at all.
Chat was going off.
It was like no matter what anybody would do, it'd be like, get to Batman, get to Batman, look on Batman. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Wait, like get to Batman is in before the trailer, like everything before it?
Yes,
right.
Yes.
Oh, well, like
It's a
I saw tweets
4-hour
about that,
event.
but like I did a snarky tweet like I'm so want to do, where I was like, show me how you're not really a DC fan by not showing me you're really a DC fan by these people are like, it's too long, there's too much filler. It's 4 hours. Those people clearly have not sat in a Hall H for a Batman trailer ever in their life.
Ever.
Hall H. You want to do some stuff in Hall
Get
H?
the Batman. I want Batman. I heard you. I heard you. You and the 50,000 people who were writing it in the YouTube. And finally, we get to the Batman trailer, and the YouTube chat goes silent for a second.
Silent.
It was like
the funny thing is, like, these people want to complain as if people are watching that are in charge and go, well, I guess let's just change the whole schedule now. Batman it is. Like, no, they have a schedule. Just calm down.
Because DC knew, they knew that's what people wanted, so you didn't put it at the very end. They're not
Damn
stupid.
right.
Come
That's
on,
the main
man.
event. That's
Of
the main
course.
event.
Clearly, you
now.
build up to the closer, but I will say, I thought, as opposed to last year's FanDome, just overall, I felt, at least watching it, that the amount of information was constant. It was jam-packed. I don't think there was an ounce of fat on this thing. There was consistently new things, and I was just trying to keep an order of all the things that they talked about, and there were so many things that I was really interested in, and most things do have the word bat in front of it. I will definitely say that. There is a lot of that leaning into the bat of it all. But, I mean, they opened up right early with Black Adam. They weren't messing around. They come out and Johnny, is that a wrestling move where they come out and they punch you right in the nose right away, or is that a prison yard I'm thinking of?
Well, it's a little bit of both. There's a correlation there, but no, on a big wrestling event or say a pay-per-view, you want to make sure the first match kicks off with something fire. You're going to get like maybe a couple of high flyers, or you're going to get a title match, or you're going to get a fatal four-way, something that's like kind of high speed that will excite you to kind of set the tone for the whole event. And so
a real wrestler with The Rock.
Yeah.
Like you're leading with that guy, and just it moved. That's what I'll say. Because I watched this last year and it was cool. I think we were kind of starving for some kind of Comic-Con Hall H experience. So just the fact that it was even a success last year was good enough for me. And this year I thought they produced it so well. It was so great to see Tiffany Smith. I loved it. This thing moved.
Here's what was tough, though.
What was that?
What was challenging was my lack of being able to shower today. I really thought there was going to be some kind of a 5-minute break in here. Like, I don't know why. I thought, based on last year, there was going to be a commercial break. I was going to be able to pee at some point. Maybe I could shower. I'm a smelly bitch today because there was not a second that I could miss of this. And you didn't know. Unlike last year, if you guys remember, on the site last year, there was a full-blown outline. And it was like, this is happening at this time. And so you could kind of.
That's right.
And you could decide, I want to be there for this. I want to be there for this. For this, I was like, I don't know when the fuck they're going to drop something.
That was on purpose. I think they wanted to create the Comic-Con experience where you're in Hall H for, say, the Warner Brothers panel for 2 hours. You don't know what's showing in what order.
And it worked.
And I think this was smart. 4 hours. Like last year was all day. I remember it was going to be 2 days. And then they said, okay, no, we're moving this content to the first day. This content's going to the second day. I think they realized. And then they would play it over like 3 times throughout the day. So if you couldn't catch the first one, you were catching the midnight showing of it. I mean, the stuff went up online to view all the clips right away. I loved what they did. You know, I mean, the kind of breaks were like when they would show the art. Like that was, hey, go to the bathroom. I know, hey, people do, but if you had to go, that's the time to go to the bathroom.
Well, I haven't done that yet. So
still 4 hours, Rocks.
We're running on 5.
You're gonna catch a UTI there, kiddo.
Whoa.
Is that how that happens?
I think so, isn't it? Yeah.
It's one of the ways it could happen. It could happen.
Sue's DC FanDome for alleged UTI.
And you thought we were kicking off with the Batman. No UTI, everybody. That's our
So Mikey said he was in on this. I'm in on this. Everybody's in on this. Everybody liked DC FanDome this year?
Yeah, this was basically their celebration. I was on the phone with a friend of mine while watching this because we're huge DC nuts, and we were also talking about how Disney has their big event coming up, which last year it was a month or two after DC FanDome. That's way more of like an announcement event. This is, I think, their celebration. Like we're gonna show some stuff, but we're also just gonna have a whole thing on Wonder Woman and talk about Wonder Woman over the years, and we're gonna have all the video game stuff, and it's way more of a celebration.
Are you talking D23? Did they move away from that?
No, Disney Plus is doing like a big announcement type thing. That's
everyone's
not 4
doing
hours.
This. It was like how Netflix just did Tadum.
What Ryan said is like it did feel like a celebration. Like the one thing I got watching this, more so than just because the movies, but as everything is like how truly diverse DC is, like in their content, what they deliver. You know, like
I think that was
joke,
very on purpose. They
I
very much
tweeted
so wanted to show you that. I think
to a friend of mine, like, see, you know, there's something for everybody. Like, I love the Momoa Aquaman, this kind of dark, gritty, you know. And then I sent a picture of the King of Atlantis, is like, and there's an Aquaman for you there, you know. So even if you like the same character, there's different versions of those characters, and this really kind of highlighted that.
Let's jump right into it and get to some of these specific characters. Unlike DC FanDome, we're not going to make you wait to the end of this stream to hear about Batman. We're just going to jump right in because that's what all the people in the chat were there for. I always forget that Batman is by far and away above Superman, above Wonder. For people, Batman seems to be the number one. And so they opened up before we got to the trailer with, or I guess they closed the show before we got to the trailer with this conversation that we had with Matt Reeves and the two main stars of this movie. How did you guys feel about this going before the trailer? Did you get any new information from Zoe or Rob or Matt, or was this kind of just like fluff before a trailer?
I thought, this was interesting because whether, I'm sure Mike will have a lot to say about this. Mikey Christmas, what's up? There was a lot of like completely out of nowhere, unfounded rumors about what the set was like for the Batman. And we haven't really heard a lot of communication from the people making it. So this was kind of the first time you actually saw them really just talking about it. And it was great to hear about the costume tests. It was great to hear about their ideas of how they wanted to do a take on this character to make it different, which is so challenging to do. It gets harder and harder each time to make something great when we've already had some great Batman movies. So I thought it was great. And I think, if anybody was like kind of like hearing some of those rumors about what, the director and the actor is not getting along or something, at least it certainly did that to like made it appear to me that everything seemed kosher. And I was like very psyched. And I like that they gave a lot of footage before the trailer in that too. That conversation was a nice setup to the main course.
How did you feel, Mikey?
I feel like this is that film. Like he had even made a joke about it. He's like, I feel like we were years ago doing this and everything. It does seem like it's been a couple of years since they've been filming this, with COVID having shut them down. Like, but like this is a movie I don't need to be sold on. There's I've seen some discourse going online lately about Batman needs to be retired. The character needs to be retired. It's too much on him. I've heard that with James Bond for so long, but the reason those characters have endured for 60, 80 years is because they're constantly being reinvented. This was not the Batman that I thought we were going to get back last year. Like when they talked about a year two, I was thinking like a little different, but we're getting what we're getting. And like everything more and more I see about this one, it like just the talent involved, Matt Reeves, Pattinson, who I don't really know too much about him outside of Twilight, but I have seen his other films where he's such a talented actor. There's no doubt that, you trust in the people involved in it and what they're going to give you. Like, I love the fact that the Batcave is like, it looks like it's an abandoned Wayne train station underneath Gotham because it said Wayne Terminal underneath there. So his Batcave is like a different that we've seen before. Mm-hmm. The trailer itself, I love that it didn't give away too much new stuff, but also I didn't feel like I did last year when I saw it. When that was like, holy crap, this is what they're going for, because I know what they're going for now. I know the vibe.
It was more underwhelming to you.
I don't want to say underwhelming. I don't need to see a lot. You don't trailers. You don't need to sell me on Batman. Yeah. I'm going to be there.
I think I hear what you're saying. There was less sort of like shock and just like, holy cow, this is what it's going to look like. Like we had no idea.
Right. We had no idea. So we saw more of what he's going to look like, more of what he's going to fight like. The things I'm more interested about are these things that I've heard that have come out of it. Like the fact that the whole movie's going to be he's going to be narrating the whole movie, like in a journal, and it's telling his story, like as he's narrating this crime he's trying to solve. And it's going to be 3 hour long kind of detective noir with him. And like, there's no Bruce Wayne. It's going to be all him in the bat suit and very little Bruce Wayne, because he doesn't care about the identity of Bruce Wayne. So that stuff, the more I'm hearing, and again, it's not shown. And I love that they're not showing people that. I want to go in surprised.
Yeah.
Like with Spider-Man No Way Home, I've not watched that trailer. I'm not going to watch anything. I want to go into that movie blind So the less I see, I don't need anything else. So
I like all the spoilers. Bring them on.
I know you do. I know you do. I don't want to hear any of it.
I know. Johnny, how'd you feel about this trailer in comparison to the first one and just in general?
Just in general, it made me more excited to see it because I'm not the kind of person that's like married to being super specific. A character has to be this way or canon has to be this way. Like for me, it's like, look, I'm paying you my money. Entertain me. If I walk away happy, I'm good. And I'm going to go back to a tweet that I think Mikey put out a couple of days ago that I found really interesting, where he remembered seeing the movie Saw in the theater in 2004. And he said to his buddy, hey, man, what if they put a Batman film out that was kind of like a psychological thriller like Saw? Now, granted, I love Saw. It jumped the shark 9 Saws ago. I can't tell what is what anymore. I'm excited for the Chris Rock one. That's notwithstanding. So, but when Mike tweeted, I was like, yeah, that's kind of the feeling I have. And I still kind of have that feeling after watching it. And my God, as an Italian myself, all I have to say, Colin Farrell, get some gabagool with your penguin. Oh my God. I did not see that coming, but it's gonna be a fun ride, man. That's my feeling off of that.
That was a great moment in the trailer, actually, with Colin Farrell, though. I enjoyed that. Ryan, where's your heart with this trailer? I saw you write a question in the chat that made me think that you like this one better than the first one.
You know, there's something to be said what Mike's talking about with that first one just blew everyone's minds, and it was hands down the best trailer that came out last year. Just everyone was talking about it. It carried us over for a year. Like I wasn't itching. I was itching for another trailer, but I was kind of good with what we got because it was so great, and they'd only been filming for like 20 days at that point.
That's right. Yeah.
And with this one, I think for the first half of it, so well edited, incredible trailer. It wasn't until that ending where the music was swelling. Like the music was probably the highlight for me with this trailer. When it's the upside down shot, fire in the background, rain, I'm like, whoa, like that was already maybe one of the most iconic Batman shots. And that's just from this trailer. That was crazy. I got pretty giddy at that moment.
If I may quote the scholars Beavis and Butthead, Nirvana's cool.
And
they said like,
also,
I'm sorry, what was the music? What was the music there at the end there?
The Giacchino's score.
It was called,
okay, so that was Giacchino's new score. Weren't you getting like almost, I listened to it a second time, and I almost heard that like I almost heard the Emperor March in there, like
totally.
Like a little bit. I'm like, wait, why does that sound familiar? I'm like, it totally sounds like Batman, but then I was like, that also sounds like Darth Vader, doesn't it?
I'll say this, Rox and guys, like for me, like it had been a little while since I've been excited for something Batman, and it does take something kind of different to get me into it. But now, I guess it's been the past, like a couple of guys that I know, they were joking like the floodgates are about to break with info and stuff for this film. We're gonna start seeing action figures and costumes and more stuff. So I'm in that point now with the Batman film where now I start getting like wanting to build suits again and all that stuff. So that's got me hyped. And like, I love little things like when he starts grabbing the guy and he has like that shock thing in his glove. So he starts shocking and like little things like that our Batman's been around for so long. We're so used to everything. So when a director can do something different, like the shot of him walking down the hallway and they're just unloading the bullets on him and he just keeps walking, like kind of an homage to Superman, the movie. Like that was awesome for me.
Oh, there's like 1,000 moments in this. And that's, again, no shade at any other comic book movies to come out. Right. But usually there are these moments in the trailers and you're just like looking for a reveal, for something to go wrong with the cinematic universe. And like that's a lot of these trailers have become. Whereas this is like, I'm getting moments with this character that are already iconic. And like you just said, the bullet moment, the shocking of like the throat when he grabs him by the neck, and everything with Selena Kyle. I mean, we have a lot of Selena Kyle that's going to be in this movie. That was probably my takeaway with the three of them talking too, is she seems to be super involved. I love how she's being incorporated into this movie, which I don't think we've gotten a Catwoman this essential to the main plot in any other live action Batman quite yet. And that's probably what I'm most excited for with this. And the Riddler, man. It's Jigsaw, it's Seven, it's Zodiac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman.
I really liked when in the prior to the trailer, we're talking about what version of Batman we're going to get. And I just really like the version of Batman it seems like they're about to present us. Somebody that's not an origin story, but is not an established Batman. And I love what Robert Pattinson was saying about this does not come easily to him. to Bruce Wayne about when he is Bruce, when he is Batman. And I think that having that in my mind and then watching the trailer, every interaction kind of played differently for me. His with Selena plays a little differently. Every moment is kind of like, this is not somebody who he's good, but he does not know fully what he's doing, and he's going to do it anyway. And that all really worked for me. Really worked for me. So that's a good trailer thoughts all around. Yeah.
He literally was the Batman in that film, in that one shot. You see, he had that bat, and he was taking it to that one guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and which one?
And there was a shot in the trailer. He's got a bat, and he's pounding a guy with a bat.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, I was gonna say that if you listen to what Bruce Timm and JJ and Matt Reeves were kind of saying about the new animated show they're working on, it feels like that's going to parallel the film in the way that. The original animated series obviously had a lot to the Tim Burton films, right? Even with Danny Elfman doing the soundtrack and everything. And the way they described the character, there were a lot of parallels, like seeing him get the thing, seeing him develop, using these things for the first time, trying it out, figuring out who Bruce Wayne is, how to play Bruce Wayne. They said, talking about the Cape Crusader show, that like Bruce Wayne is definitely the mask. And that seemed to be what they were kind of implying here too. Like the line is blurred. He's like this washed out rock star kind of guy, like as Matt Reeves described him, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the most shattered version of Batman maybe we'll ever see. I mean, you look at the way I thought Affleck was amazing. He was an age-appropriate Bruce Wayne in Batman. Like, he was a guy who kind of settled in his life and settled with what happened in the past and still obviously had an axe to grind. Whereas like this guy is still working through all of the horrible things that is inside of his head. And I think that's going to be for people that say that, Batman's overplayed at this point. Well, I think this is going to be a different version that we should all just, be open to.
Thank you to you guys at home for submitting Streamlabs already. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. We want to hear from you guys and your thoughts about DC fandom in general. Coming in from the Streamlabs, Glenn Caesar says, hi, Roxy, Johnny, Adam, Mike, and Ryan. Happy DC Fandom 2021. This was a really fun way to spend my Saturday afternoon. Thanks for doing the show with us. Here's something to help kickstart the day's festivity. Love to you all. Hashtag the DC Movie News team is awesome. Thanks, Glenn.
Love you too.
Dan V says, I have to say that the pacing of DC fandom was significantly worse than last year with way too much extraneous stuff. I can't believe that they spoke more about the Flash last year than this year, and Ezra wearing a choker was a bizarre choice for him. That's an interesting complaint, Dan V. He also says it could have been a tight 2 hours to go everything or even possibly less. Now the Batman trailer was fantastic, and I expect it to deliver. I loved what I heard about Batman, Cape Crusader, and the Black Adam and Flash footage was great. Okay, so some pros, some cons, and mostly about necklaces.
Good and bad.
That's
right.
totally
That's
okay.
right.
I think that pacing thing is a generational thing because I thought it was breakneck pace. I was slow down.
I'm with you, buddy.
Keep up. I know.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. We're talking Shazam. I forgot Shazam. And I think it's a generational thing. There's, you talk about people now, they're so used to content. And if you don't hook them in 30 seconds, they're onto something else. You're absolutely right. It's generational.
Yeah.
I think the DC, they were like, well, we did two days last time. We're going to do 4 hours. That's tight.
I like that one time they tried to incorporate, they were like, okay, this is a generational thing. How do we make things quicker? You guys make TikToks at home. Spin into Wonder Woman.
Do your spin challenge.
Right.
No idea how to do it. Garth Harkness McMurray says, I love the Batman trailer. Seeing more of Zoe cast as Catwoman and Colin as Penguin. I liked the brief segment with Patty Jenkins and Linda Carter. The Flash trailer was interesting with Keaton's Batman, multiple Ezras, and Supergirl in the Batcave. Love to you all. Thanks, Garth. Also in here, Hitman Hudson says, Young Justice Season 4. Get hyped. DC's best superhero team, the Legion of Superheroes, is apparently playing a major role, and I'm so excited. Oh, and I guess there was all that other stuff too.
Something for everybody.
Yeah, everybody's got their thing.
I love that they're doing a Batman in his own world again, and I just can't, because I always like Batman where he's the craziest thing in his world, right? And we've gotten that a lot, but we actually are now in a place where we're getting a movie with the guy who started Batman who was only in his own Batman world, who had no other DC characters, and he's going to be in a Flash movie in the same year that there's like a Batman movie that is in its own universe. What is going on?
It's
Yeah.
pretty special.
A little more on Batman. Pink Sweet says, "Oh hi, everyone's eyebrows look great. I forgot Greg Fraser, the Dune cinematographer, is also doing the Batman movie. Looks stunning. Could be an awards contender. Hope y'all are well. What a lovely day." Do you guys think that's possible?
Awards
That could be
contender?
yeah.
I think so.
Absolutely. I
I
hate
mean,
to
The
say
Dark
that
Knight
this
was-
early, but I mean, you saw his Apes movies. Like, clearly, Matt Reeves doesn't do anything that is just superficial. You
Right.
know, we keep hearing about this noir story that it's like really long, potentially almost 3 hours. Like, but just kind of like they did with the Joker, it's like a noir detective story with the veneer of a great Batman story over it. I think it's going to be.
If it's really going to be close to 3 hours, just wait until all the complaints come rolling in about the length of the film. Oh, it's going to be fun.
I always say no good movie is too long and no bad movie is too short.
Yeah, that's so
That's
true.
just the way it is. If you're enjoying
That's
the
so
film,
true.
like, Bond was almost 3 hours, and my girlfriend, who has no attachment to Bond, was like, wow, that was, people complain about that. It felt like a couple hours. Like, she just enjoyed the film. So I think if it's
You
a great
like it.
film,
Yeah.
I could do a 4 hour movie. Give me 4 hours of Batman.
Do you think?
4
Do you
hours
think
of-
of rewards though? Do you think like it's going to get? This could be
I
Oscar
don't know.
nominated because
I gotta wait to see. The
Yeah.
time
I gotta
wait to
involved
see
is there,
too.
but I gotta,
I mean, on the bright side, if the movie really is 3 hours, at least no one's going to be asking for the Reeves cut afterwards because that is the Reeves cut.
the Reeves
Well,
cut.
it's an interesting point. Before we get to some more of these Streamlabs, I do think it's fair to bring up, nobody is stating release the Reeves cut right now, but one of the big things people seem disappointed about with FanDome was the lack of reference to both the Snyder cut or Snyderverse and also the Air cut. I saw a lot of people bummed that there was no release the Air cut talk at all. Do you guys think that there was did you think there was a possibility they were going to address either of these things? And if so, how could they have done it? And do you wish that they did? Ryan, I know you had some thoughts on the Snyderverse not being mentioned.
I did have some thoughts. So if you recall last year, y'all, they actually did talk Snyder Cut at DC Fandom last year. There was a
the
whole
big
segment.
reveal.
There's a big reveal. They didn't do as in depth as they did, I think, like 2 days or a week before it dropped on HBO Max, because I know they did an entire separate thing for Snyder Cut, just talking about the process and it building up. But no discussion at all about it. And I know that that's a thing they've announced, like, we're not restoring Snyderverse. And I think this was a clear indication that they're really not going that direction. But the odd thing is, not really any of these projects that they've announced or even shown us tidbits from contradict that direction. Like, if they were going to restore it, which I think is like an interesting thing. Like, these movies that are coming out right now could still come out and not contradict anything if they actually wanted to go that route, but they haven't clearly stated that yet. So it's a question for me. It's up in the air if they're still remotely considering it. But I have to imagine they're not.
It's interesting, Ryan. You bring up a very good point, and I think the problem is when people say restore the Snyderverse. What do they think that means? To them, is that tell the story of Justice League 2 and 3 that he had planned out? Because these films are firmly implanted with the Snyder DNA in them. Like, look at Supergirl's costume in The Flash. It is Man of Steel inspired. That is Henry Cavill's Superman. We are getting Affleck as Batman. Ezra Miller, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa are still cast in these roles. Black Adam's suit looks similar to Shazam's, and the DNA of, like, you look at the MCU, the DNA of their costumes are all very similar. The fabrics they use. That's all in these films. So when they say the Snyderverse, are they talking about we want Justice League 2 and 3 that he mapped out, and now that we know what was going to happen? Or so what do they want? Because I don't think Snyder's coming back right now. I think they've moved on from that. I think he's moved on from that. But it's firmly implanted in these films. They're not erasing what came past. So
True.
The only thing
what are you asking for with that restore the Snyderverse?
I think what people are asking for is, I think they're curious about the future direction, which honestly I might have to go back on something I just said. The one thing that would contradict it is this Flash movie.
Right.
If we
it
think
could
in this Flash movie with like reversing a timeline, all I'm saying is you could easily have your cake and eat it too here.
Sure.
And I feel like that's the thing that's been working the best for DC is like they were so resistant for having, two live action, actors play Batman for the longest time. And now we have it with Pattinson and Affleck. They did it with Joker, massive success. Like this is something that I think if they wanted to, they could pursue and go down. But I also think, the big win was that they got the Snyder Cut. The fans got that this year. And when it comes to like the air cut and everything, that's a whole nother conversation. It just sounds more like it could be negative controversy to what's already been coming out. And I think they're in a really nice spot right now, and they kind of want to stay away from that.
I think so too. I think there's no reason to talk about plans that they don't have, and they're not going to talk about anything that happened in the past. This is all about what is the future. And like to Mikey's point, they have taken a lot of the DNA of the Snyderverse, but we still don't really believe Henry Cavill will be back, and we don't believe Ben Affleck will be back past the Flash movies. So they're doing what they've always said that they're doing, which is like they're kind of moving on and kind of not. People keep wanting them to have this like one true continuity. I don't know that they're ever going to do that. I don't think they want to. They want to be able to give you whatever story they want to be very auteur led. Like this is going to be the Matt Reeves Batman universe. That could be one film. It could be 3 films, and then it will go away. Then you have wherever the Flash ends up, that's going to be a new status quo, right? He's not going to show up, and Ben Affleck's going to be at the end of the movie. It's going to be some kind of wacky psychedelic Wizard of Oz, Back to the Future mashup of universes.
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
Yeah, I don't. And the air cut, well, they're just obviously not planning on doing that right now. It doesn't mean that they never will, but they're not going to talk about it unless it is literally on the books for the next year to year and a half, which is what today was all about.
Yeah, Snyder Cut was a gift we didn't expect to get. We got it. We're happy, but it's not going to get regifted right now. There's other stuff they had to take care of, and that's what they're doing.
It's a gift.
That keeps on giving.
Gotta get my physical media. Come on, now do we ever think? And here it is. That's pretty awesome.
Going back to the people, Flugene Deb says, I know this comparison can be trite, but I got 7 vibes off of the trailer. I think talking about Batman, not only the tone, but it also it looked gross and grimy. One of the few comic properties where I think that desaturated look works. Did you guys get those vibes?
There's nothing wrong with thinking that at all. I think that's incredible 7 vibes, which is, watching 7, you throw a guy in a bat suit in that film, and that's a Batman movie.
Especially the shot from up above with everything that was written there.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, that's a combination of, I got a couple visuals there. I got Saw, I got 7, a little bit of everything there. So
we're 6 months away from this film?
6 months away.
So great.
And I love we still don't know. We really haven't heard the Riddler talk too much. We don't. He has never had like the scene where he's telling his big plan. I love that. Yeah. I think we'll get something at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So we're gonna get one more trailer.
I don't want another one, but I'm sure we will get one. The marketing department will definitely give us one with more, Riddler. I mean, I don't know. We haven't really heard much from Alfred.
Super Bowl is a good call, man.
Yeah,
Super
I just
Bowl
don't
is
want
perfect.
more. I
This is
just
teed up.
But I get you have to sell a movie and you have to market a movie, and that's that.
I didn't expect to get as much Penguin as we got. I mean, I had to do a double take and a double listen. I was like, is that guy Penguin?
Adam, not that it was showing, not that it showed like, ice statues, but did that seem like the Iceberg Lounge that Batman was breaking into, that like club setting? It seemed like that was like the Iceberg Lounge.
That one, like that the Penguin owned?
Yeah, because when he's like, oh, settle down, Cupcake or Sunshine or whatever he calls him, when he was like marching through like the stairs, just beating everyone up.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. The Penguin is going to be that character that's like, he's a criminal. He's going to be like the stooge that the Batman beats the absolute bejesus out of to get information out of. Like, he's not the main criminal at all.
Let's be honest. That's what Italians are good for in these kind of movies. Just beat us up We'll entertain you in the meantime.
So much because people are always like, there's too many villains. It's like, yeah, but the Penguin, he's a supporting character. Don't make him the main guy. He's just the stooge that Batman goes and busts into this club every time and, breaks some chandeliers and breaks the tables and stuff. And then he leaves. He's like, he doesn't have to be a big part of it. And I think, didn't Colin Farrell say he's only in like 4 or 5 scenes?
Oh, I have no idea.
He said that like last year. He was like,
Isn't it unfair to all the bigger, huskier actors out there, Mikey, that you got this gorgeous hunk of a man and slap a bunch of stuff on him, and then
there's
gets
people
to play
that complain
ugly,
about stuff like that. But like, there's so many people that complain like when actors put on weight like that or fat suits or whatever. But I'm like, they're actors. That's the tradition of acting.
It is just really funny that Penguin is like one of the most handsome men on the planet, and he's like playing like this hideous thing.
Yeah, but did you guys see The Gentleman? Did you see The Gentleman with Guy Ritchie?
No, I didn't. I haven't.
Him in that movie was phenomenal.
I like that a lot. That was a good movie.
I want to take a couple more things from you guys at home, and then we'll move on to some of these other movies in the Streamlabs.
We could do a whole month of episodes just based on FanDome. Like there was so much stuff.
It's nuts. Streamlabs.com.
I want to talk about video games with Mikey. I mean, like, oh my God.
We'll get there. We will. We'll try. Dan V says, I was just glad that they focused on comics at times where the Cam Newton Superman hat part wasn't necessary. The Young Justice Phantoms announcement with its streaming was a big deal. No talk about Green Lantern show. It was weird. It was announced a long time ago. I didn't really understand the first part of the sentence, but
what about the hat?
Cam Newton?
Yeah.
Oh, Cam Newton with the hat.
Football player.
Good call about Green Lantern. I didn't think about that. You're right.
I'm just curious, Ryan. Did you just say to me football player?
Well, I mean, like he does Cam the Superman.
Newton? Yeah, but I don't.
New England. I know he's New England. I know he was New England. He's out. Yeah. I know. I wasn't still just.
It was so mean what you just did. I don't get what he was saying that wasn't necessary though. But okay.
I think like it's a segment that we didn't need to. I know what they're saying.
He was selling hats.
Selling hats.
Leonard Kim. Yeah, they were selling a lot of stuff during this. Leonard Kim.
They were selling a lot.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? DC Fandom crushed. They did an excellent job bookending the production, caught our attention with Black Adam. Holy shit. And then left us in awe with the Batman. Even holier shit. I wish we got some Green Lantern. Ugh. Were you guys missing Green Lantern? I know we didn't get Superman. We didn't get. we didn't get Superman. Henry Cavill Superman. We didn't get Green Lantern stuff. That's
the one property that I didn't think about going into this, but once it was done, I saw in the chat. I was like, "Oh, we didn't get any Green Lantern."
Yeah,
I do know people that are working on it, but they don't have anything to say. I would assume they're not that far along in it to have something that was weird. It's
interesting that we got no concept or talk about it. Like it seemed like that's a big enough property because they did a couple of those like Batgirl where they basically just showed one concept picture. Like it did almost feel like it was stalling. But you say people that are still currently working on it.
They're working on it. Yeah, they're deep in production on this show.
Well, you'd think they have a plan. Not to bring up. I'm trying not to bring up the Snyder Cut every time I talk, but when he was given the green light, like, oh, we're going to do the Snyder Cut, he had a whole bigger thing with the Green Lantern. That was the one thing Warner Brothers said, you have to take that out because they have some plan to use that character right now. So I did think we were going to get more about him when DC found out.
I don't know why, if it matters, if Snyder Cut is just an Elseworld thing, like who cares? Like, so you could do a different Green Lantern. It's so weird how they contradict themselves sometimes about you can't touch this character or you can have 5 of that character.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they got a big vision for it. They really just want that first piece, the first nugget of Green Lantern to be.
You're right, Ryan. Yeah. They want to divorce people from the association with the bad film. They want people divorced. Like they don't want you don't think about that other one. And when they reintroduce Green Lantern, they want to do it. But I mean, people love that little soupçon of Green Lantern in Justice League too.
Well, there's a good chance that whatever they had would have just got lost in the other 4 hours of FanDome. So it's just like, let's wait until we have something big that's going to stand alone. That's my guess.
What was longer, FanDome or the Snyder Cut? Guys, comment below.
I think it was about the same. About 345.
Honestly, pretty dead even. Let's go back to the beginning though, guys. We've mentioned Black Adam a little bit, but Black Adam is coming July 29th, 2022. We had the cast talking a little bit, The Rock giving a bit of a monologue, and that scene that we got. How are you guys feeling about Black Adam right now? Adam, you are the one with the name Adam, so I'm coming to you first.
Wow.
I got to say, so far, that is my favorite movie The Rock's ever been in so far. I haven't heard a line, but like just
Man, have you never seen The Game Plan? What's wrong with you?
it's like at an absolute 10 for me right now. I am very intrigued. What little bit we got, I thought looked incredible. Like the tone seemed right. We were all expecting this to take place in the past, or at least I thought we were. And this clearly was a very modern thing.
Yeah.
But he also said this is when you see him for the first time. So now I'm wondering, are we going back in time? Is he telling his story? Is he faking us out, as Johnny says he is wont to do? And is that the end of the movie? Like,
No, he said it was one of the first few scenes of the movies.
Which it must be. I believe it is.
Yeah.
Just the right amount of costume revealed. You know, he disintegrated a person. He's clearly not Zachary Levi's Shazam. I mean, so everything that they had promised so far, they're delivering so far.
Johnny, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, one of the favorite reveals that I can remember as far as DC, just for the little 1 minute teaser that we had. I don't even know if it was special effects. I do believe Dwayne Johnson can crush a man to smithereens with his bare hands and catch bullets. So, I mean, they're saving a lot of money without needing CGI by casting Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. So, I mean, I love the reveal, and I do believe that it's going to be as good as he says it's going to be, because if there's one thing that The Rock has proven over the course of his career, whether it be, you know, in professional wrestling or as an actor, he goes 190,000,000% into every single thing. And this is something, I mean, he was teasing this way back in the day, 5 years ago when we were doing the weekly show? I mean, this is a long time coming.
Yeah, no, I think someone pointed out, or they did an article, Black Adam, him as Black Adam predates the MCU.
What?
Like it was like 2006 or 2007 where he was attached to this film.
Seriously.
And I was like,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's wild.
It was
You
an
could
article.
argue-
It was an article that was posted of him saying cast as Black Adam and DC's Black Adam.
I mean,
I
you could
thought it
argue
was like 2014 or something like that. I didn't realize.
I'm sure. Well, we got Google. We can look it up. But I was like, that's incredible.
It
and
makes
I think
sense,
it
though.
feels like that. It feels like that.
You could argue, like, who looks more like that comic book? Like, who looks more like their character in real life than Dwayne Johnson and Black? You know what I mean?
I'll say this
is the perfect match. Like he said, I was born to play this. Like, yeah, he kind of.
I'll say this. I'm torn because on the one hand, I've got James Bond and Sarah Shahi in a film together in the DC world. And on the other hand, it's The Rock. It's all going to hinge on him for me if he can distance himself from the character, from his persona.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever film he's doing, he is The Rock.
You don't want to see The Rock in this. You want to see
You
Black
can't see
Adam.
The Rock in this for this to work for me. Like
I totally agree, and that's why I said what I said. Like up to now, it's the best movie he's done. He hasn't talked though. Like I'm with you, man. I'm so afraid
if he does, like if he gets shot by bullets and he turns to the camera and does that, like you can't. And I think that's why one of the reasons why Batista, and again, Batista was nowhere near the personality that The Rock was in wrestling world. But Batista has separated himself and immersed himself so hard in these other roles, wanting to go, I'm not that guy. I am an actor now.
Yeah.
And it works. Like to hear his struggles in like on Dune, to get recognized on Dune and to get cast in Dune. And like, I love The Rock as a person. I think that's the kind of guy that like seems like one of the greatest guys in the world. But to play a character, you've got to separate yourself from that. And if he can do it, I'll be the first to admit it.
Right.
But it's all going to hinge on that for me with this film.
Well, I mean, for action stars, he's an interesting one where he hasn't had many movies that fit with the typical action star. He hasn't done movies like Tom Cruise or many like Jason Statham. Like there's the Fast and Furious movies. That's a franchise that he kind of like came in and out of. And then everything else is some kind of, riff or joke, like, Jungle Cruise or even the Jumanji movies. Like it's an interesting, like flippant acting thing where it's like he's doing an impression, right? And I think they're using him well. This is like he's the most obvious person to put in a comic book movie, and I think he's really been waiting so that the one he does.
I hope
pick,
so. I
love this though. I thought this has like Adam. I was thinking about when we went to see Shazam, and I think it's so interesting that DC has really leaned full tilt on Shazam. Like we have the Shazam sequel, Black Adam, and there are these huge movies, and that's like one of the lower grossing DC movies, but it's personally my first or second favorite of all the DCU. I love Shazam. Wow. And I think it's really great that they're leaning into it and that this is happening. Like I think we're going to have The Rock as synonymous with this character as we have like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool even like Tom Hardy's care for the Venom movies. I think that's how he cares that much about this character.
I would agree.
Hey,
I will say that I thought just from the look of the costume, I thought the padding in his suit to make him look big is a little bit more convincing than the padding in Zachary Levi's suit.
That's
so
fair.
Gotten better. They've gotten better at padding the suits to make them look like superhero
That must be what it is.
Yeah,
that
they had to slim down Black Adam's suit because The Rock was too big for it.
Let's go into the Streamlabs. Kenny says, just wanted to thank you all for taking time out of your busy lives to reunite for the show today. Love you all. DC Movie News forever. It's really sweet.
Oh, man, thanks.
It's not a problem at all. It's not.
Della Common says, whoa, is that Johnny LaQuasto on my screen? Hashtag, I'm going to butcher this, NXTEAM. Also, while understandable, I'm irrationally annoyed with the 3 seconds they had for the upcoming Sandman show.
Yeah, it was like a poster or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer.
How are they do more? It's so fun. People are like, it was fully packed. Some people are like, the pacing was slow. Some people are like, it's too long. Other people are like, I wanted more of this. I don't know. I don't know that they could have pleased everybody here. I think they did the very best that they could.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to move on from Black Adam talk to a little Aquaman?
Sure.
All right, let's talk Aquaman 2, December 16th, 2023.
Good Lord.
It's too far.
Is that right? 2023.
You said Shazam, right? Yeah, 2023.
Aquaman
2. No, that's December.
Is it 2022?
December 2022. We're getting so we're going Batman, Flash,
hang on, let me look this up.
Aquaman, Black Adam this year.
Oh, you're right. It is 2022.
It's 2022. Okay,
those 4 this year, and then we're getting Shazam right after. So we're getting 4 DC films and 4 live action DC in 2022. Batman.
Wow. That's
crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
There wasn't that much for a movie that's coming out next year. Then there wasn't that much on Aquaman 2. We did get.
What?
What do you mean?
You didn't think there was a lot?
I didn't think they gave us that much. You did?
What?
What?
They gave us a montage of scenes all over the world of them shooting.
I thought it was cool, but I feel like for a movie that's a year out, think about what we got for Batman last year.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Well,
so
high standard.
But also those were we got that Aquaman. Look at every shot of Aquaman has effects in it. Mara is walking around with dots on her head because her hair is being CGI'd. So I'm sure every single scene is going to be CGI.
Noticeably, no Amber Heard talking about any of this stuff, though.
Yeah, well,
that's true.
Kind of interesting. It's not that we got nothing. We obviously got enough, but I kind of was expecting a full blown cut together. What, Mikey?
You got some expectations, girl.
Maybe I do.
Also,
high expectations.
Oh my God!
I think
and all things said and done, didn't we get one trailer?
We got one trailer and a teaser.
So that I thought we might have more than one trailer in DC in the 4 hours of DC fandom.
Yeah, That's fair to say. It is true. At the end of the day, there was a lot of apologizing. We don't have this.
I'll say this. Batman's coming out first. We should have had we had a trailer for it. Shazam is next. We got the first scene of it. Aquaman's not coming out till the last of next year. So, I think they did a nice buildup. Why are they going to release a trailer? We got a teaser for the Flash. So why would we release a trailer to step over Batman, knowing, oh my God, that movie looks phenomenal. We've already seen the Batman stuff. But I can't wait for this film now. It's like, no, they're front loading Batman.
I'm not pissed. I thought maybe.
You thought wrong.
I did. I thought wrong.
You thought wrong. I'm going to call it out right there.
Well, we've got Black Adam is July, and that's after Batman. So
then when's the Flash? August?
The Flash is November.
Okay, and then December's Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman is December, and then Shazam
maybe
is
with
early
Black Adam we
2023.
should have seen a little more. But again, a lot of
it's all effects. Yeah, it's difficult, I think. And I know James Wan, which that was I think my takeaway was they are just so all over James Wan. I was surprised how much they were talking about how it's like the most successful. This made $1 million. By the way,
that one guy,
$1 million.
He was all about that.
Successful. You're like,
he's not wrong.
It was the most successful. You're absolutely right.
He's not wrong.
All right, so give me what you guys thought about this, though. I want to hear. If I'm the only one who thought we were going to get more,
I'll say this
about Aquaman. Yep.
I think of the panel, I love Aquaman the most, or I was the biggest fan of it. probably.
You are.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, but I
They
think
took it.
you
That
were a
first
little
movie
more.
was an 11. This movie looked like it's going to be a 20, and I loved it. Like more of everything that I loved. So bring it on.
How are you
Yeah.
feeling? Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, I think I was surprised at how frank they were with it, with just talking about the money and the success of the first one. Just going, yeah, and the second one, it's gonna be Black Manta. He's still trying to kill him. He's still trying to get revenge, and it's gonna be really fun. You're like, great. Like I was just kind of sure. I'm excited, and that's kind of how I felt going into the first one. And I think just since this is a character that hadn't gotten its due in live action, that first one was so successful, and just credit to James Wan and everyone involved. It was so fun, and I think they just know the exact tone that they're going for with Aquaman, and I'm a little shocked that it hasn't been in production sooner. But I think that has a lot to do with COVID and everything. But Jason Momoa just as hyped as ever, and I think that was one of the best decisions they ever made, was casting him.
I like that he had the last word on the whole event too. When
Mahalo
he said,
for watching.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. They really
That was
lean
cool.
on him. He also just has such a vibe. Like every time we cut to him throughout the entire presentation, I was just like, this man is chilling.
So
Like,
chill.
Happy to be here, likes what he's doing, excited about this movie, excited about anything to do with DC, and just kind of like
When you think about it,
pumps.
between The Rock and Jason Momoa, you know, cool is subjective, but they might be two of the coolest dudes on the planet.
Yeah.
And they're both DC superheroes. So,
Yeah.
So real quick, this just dropped. Zack Snyder tweeted out Matt Reeves, the Batman trailer, at Matt Reeves at the Batman. This is awesome.
all right.
And that's from
Cool.
Snyder on
Nice.
Twitter. Yeah. That's awesome.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yep. As much as people want to put filmmakers against each other, especially in the same universes, they all, there's a level of respect there for each other, especially. So that's pretty awesome.
I want to get to a couple of you guys in your comments in here. Let's see what's going on. Cooley High said, "What up, fam? What a banner day for DC fandom. Mike, the Batman looks dope. Also, Shazam 2 doesn't come out till 2023. Those kid actors gonna be in college by the time it comes. LOL, y'all be easy." Yeah, it's a long time. But remember when Aquaman 2 was announced, it was gonna be 4 years after.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were like, what?
Yeah.
So it's kept its schedule, right? I mean,
Yeah.
is it going to be more than 4 years? Or he said, thanks for waiting 4
Aquaman,
years.
so
But
it
I
came
remember
out-
when Aquaman 1 came out, they were talking about it's going to be 4 years.
Aquaman
So-
was what? December of 19? Or no?
Yeah.
It must have
18.
been 18.
December of 18. Yeah. And they
Yeah.
said 4 years, and we were all like, what? And here it is.
My man.
Yeah. They kept to that. They really did keep to that.
King Sport Cal in here said, "What did you all think about the new Milestone comics?" Jumping around a little bit, obviously.
What
Yeah.
what caught me the most was the animated film they talked about.
Yes.
That got me the
Yeah.
most excited. Was that animated? And I love they talked about the omnibus because there's so many people that are new to this generation of comics, and they're kind of lost because it is a whole kind of world. They're creating an omnibus of like not a guide path or a guide, like a breakdown of the characters and everything, so you know what's going on. I thought that was fantastic from a publishing standpoint.
My
Yeah, did they
favorite
say
part
that
of
Go ahead.
my favorite part of the whole thing, though, is when he just said all of it's meaningless unless there are people behind you, because he's talking about paving the way because they're doing that new program, the Milestone Initiative, and saying like, just because we open the door, like it doesn't matter if there's nobody behind us coming through it. And I just thought that it was a really beautiful interview that was done. I liked it a lot.
Great point, Rocks.
Yeah, I really like that part of it. So
Yeah.
thank you for asking the question. Adam, what were you going to say, honey? Sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I didn't know that, like, he said Jefferson Davis was the first African-American DC character. Is that true? Like,
I don't know.
or like, did he mean like lead character? Like, I thought that was pretty shocking. I did not know that until today. And in the Milestone movie, what characters, did they say what characters are covered in it? Like, is it Icon? Like, who is in the Milestone animated film? Did they give us any of that?
I think they just gave us the writer, right? Or was it Shock?
Oh,
That I'm not sure.
All right. Let's
Yeah,
see if
there
I
was a
can
lot.
find something else about
I
it.
would
That makes
assume
sense
Static
too.
Shock's going to be the one. I would, but wasn't that talk of Static Shock, but it was going to HBO Max?
Yeah, I kind of remember that. But that's different because that's the one that's got Michael B. Jordan producing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yep, that is that
So
one.
that's not the animated one. While
Right.
we're trying to look into that, a couple more things from you guys at home. Andrew Thomas said, "Hey, DC Movie News. The teasers for The Flash and Black Adam were really good. I liked Keaton's Batman voiceover." Also coming in here, Della Common says, "Okay, who on the panel is copying one of those Cam Newton DC hats?" See, so for some people it works.
See, it worked.
Picture Mike rocking one of those in an IG match.
Hell yeah, buddy.
I don't know
Rock the
about
shit out of that thing.
Would you?
Hell yeah. Rox, come on now. You know me. I'll put
Okay.
anything on.
All right, that's cool. Also in here from Leonard Kim, who says, "What are your thoughts on a third Wonder Woman being in the works? That was a little bit of news that I didn't know I needed. I love the first Wonder Woman and enjoyed Wonder Woman 1984, so I'm in on a third Wonder Woman movie." Were any of you guys surprised?
I was surprised that they talked about it. I mean, didn't they greenlit Wonder Woman 3 right after 84? It was right away.
Week after, yeah.
Yeah, it was. So I think, I don't know if she jumped the gun on accident, or if that was a planned kind of.
It felt planned. It was kind of titillating. I liked how it went down. I think it was kind of cool. Like I like how much Linda Carter played it up. And I was like, I know you can't talk. And it did feel very awkward. And like her wanting to sing or about to sing about Wonder Woman was like very awkward. And then they were just talking about Wonder Woman 3. I thought that was very cool and weird.
What do you guys legitimately think about the fact that Gal was not there?
I think she's I think she's out filming something.
They were like, she's 3 kids, she's busy.
I don't. They've got 5 films on the slate ready to come, so I don't think they've.
I don't think you bring Gal there for this. I don't know. I didn't feel like she should have been there.
No.
Right. They weren't actually showing any. Yeah, they weren't showing any new Wonder Woman footage or any new Wonder Woman story. It's just like, hey, we're gonna do a third one. All right.
I don't know. For me, this is called DC FanDome, and we have one Wonder Woman, and it's Gal, and she's not there. She is the biggest female star in all of DC. True. Even more, even more so than Margot, even more so than Harley. Like Wonder Woman is the thing, and the fact that she wasn't there was kind of strange to me. Not to segue us, and I'll keep it brief, but like I was wondering if this was a political thing or not, or what exactly was going on with Gal, because
political how
she's just been in some hot water recently for some of the comments that she's made, and I feel like the fact that Amber Heard wasn't there. When we're talking Aquaman things, that I think has to do with personal things.
Oh, sure.
The fact that Gal is not there, I don't know. It could be that she's just busy, but Ezra was there, so there's been. I don't know.
Was Ezra ever there?
With his choker and all.
Was he ever there? And no Chloe from Smallville. It was kind of like they're trying to silence female voices or something. Like what is going on?
Wow.
No, I'm super duper not saying that. I just think that it's straight. We're having a big DC event in which there's no Henry Cavill as Superman. There's no Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. There's no Ben Affleck as Batman. Like we're missing a lot of.
But they're not. Rox, you're missing.
There's no Ray Fisher as Cyborg.
You're talking about 3 or 4 people that are not involved with projects right now that are
totally. Well,
going forward.
Wonder 3 it's years away. Like it's very far away. I don't even know if it has a date yet. Like I think that I hear you, and that was in my head. I was thinking about that, and that's probably something they could have maybe addressed better so that it wasn't like more of a distraction. Because I was distracted by that. Everything you said, I definitely thought about, but I do think it is because she's just not in an upcoming movie.
Very, very possible.
And also listen to what you said. You named the list of movies that are coming up. We had Batman make an appearance. We had Black Adam make an appearance. We had The Flash make an appearance. We had I think one of the Super Pets was there. Like the people headlining the films that are coming up next year were.
I mean, Batgirl was there.
Batgirl was maybe one of my favorite segments of the thing. The directors of Batgirl were like 2 Taika Waititis. They were like, it was like Taika Waitutis. Those guys seem like the coolest guys. That just whole thing, I just can't. I mean, I just got so excited for those people to make that movie.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit of Batgirl then. You guys are looking forward to this, and you liked the presentation that they put on with Leslie Grace? Yes. No. Maybe. All right.
I did. No,
Yeah.
I did. I got
Again,
very,
a surprise.
total
Complete
surprise.
complete
And this
surprise.
is an HBO Max movie. Is that true? Is this
Yeah.
an HBO
Yeah.
Max movie?
HBO
I think
Max.
some people are very bummed about that. This
I
is
don't-
an HBO Max movie, and then there was that
Blue Beetle.
and Blue Beetle is the other
I
thing
think-
that we got the
Not to
costume
mention,
for.
I mean, I do see the one side. They're saying, well, here's your first female-led, like, it's not first female-led DC film, which is false. But they feel it's that. Then they feel because it's a Latino-led superhero that they're being dumped to HBO Max. And I can't speak to that. But I think you have to understand that HBO Max needs to build its content. It needs, ways to do that. And these films that they might not necessarily be these massive headlining films, that's a way to shine on HBO Plus. So that's the only way you get it. You got to go to HBO Max. You got to see these on there. It's still part of the world.
Yeah, Disney Plus is doing the same thing with a lot of characters that you could just never get to. There are just too many characters to get to. I hear what you're saying.
There.
Like the two Latino-led films are being relegated to HBO Max, and you're right. I can't speak to that.
I forget
either, and
that girl is a
see how
Latino
that
as well.
would tick someone off, but
Yeah,
I was very excited for both those announcements. I mean, I'm
absolutely
hoping that they look appropriately budgeted, but I hope it doesn't look like a CW Batwoman show,
Yeah.
And you got to remember also, people, if they're thinking that way, like they're doing that, but also we're going to get a Jeffrey Wright, Commissioner Gordon show on HBO Max. That's not going to be in theaters.
Mhm.
So it's not.
Well, not to mention
they're not pushing it aside because it's less than.
There's also something to be said about its accessibility at that point. Then, like, I think that as a diehard TV fan, I'm very used to watching things on my TV hooked up to my computer to my TV and watching it on my TV and feeling like I'm in the theater. So I think it's cool that this can come to people's homes. Like you guys have said, I can't speak to the fact that we've got two Latinx superhero movies that are going straight to streaming, but I'm excited to be able to see them wherever they are.
Someone in the chat also mentioned Zatanna as well is going to go to streaming. So, I mean,
that hasn't been mentioned recently, though. I mean, is that in production or in pre-production? Like, these are all much further along. Like, these are all.
Well, I think it was mentioned. The Penguin show was mentioned. So it's gonna be a Penguin show based on Farrell's character.
Well,
a lot of spin-off shows.
Talking about the HBO Max slate, Peacemaker. Come on now.
Okay, so let's get into it. Sure, let's talk Peacemaker. Johnny, how are you feeling?
I gotta be honest. I'm not staying on top of things as well as I used to. I had forgotten that there was a Peacemaker show that was already in development. The fact that we saw so much footage of this already, I think it looks like a fun show. I mean, I will admit, I have not seen Suicide Squad 2. I'm ashamed of myself. Life has gotten a little busy, and I meant to watch it this week, and I ran out of time. But, John Cena, when you're a professional wrestling superstar like The Rock, like John Cena, like Batista, the one thing, especially Cena and The Rock, you know how to improv. You know how to deliver. So you give someone like John Cena a show based around the Peacemaker. Even if the script is great, he's only going to make it greater on set. It wouldn't surprise me if he was able to riff and make certain scenes even better on top of what they were already going to be. So I'm sold just off of all of that alone. John Cena's delivered his entire career, been one of the best there is on the microphone. So as this character, I heard he was awesome in Suicide Squad 2. I'm sure he's going to be great in Peacemaker. So this is something I definitely want to watch.
I was really excited because one time I sat next to Danielle Brooks on a plane for 6 hours, and that's the female star in this, the one who comes from Orange is the New Black. And she was literally the most incredible human being. She put on Dreamgirls and put on a whole fucking show for me, like singing every word, dancing to it. And then hearing all of them talk about her, about being just like the most lively, incredible person. To see their dynamic, I am just so here for this. I did not think that a Peacemaker show was warranted after this Suicide Squad movie. I was like, all right, this is bizarre, but okay. But the fact that James on set said, I can't believe they're letting me shoot this. I think that's how we all felt when it was announced. Like, I can't believe that that's what they're doing. And so I'm here for it. It's got to be something.
It's crazy that it's happening so quickly. Like that movie
Right.
just happened. It really, it did not light the world on fire according to box office, for whatever reason. Obviously, the HBO Max day and date thing has not allowed for a lot of movies to do well, Kong versus Godzilla being an exception. But Warner Brothers has really shot themselves in the foot with this whole thing. And I think a lot of the movies have not been good either. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if this whole thing is a plus or a negative, but the fact that we're getting like a sequel to Suicide Squad, like within the 6 months of it coming out in the theater, or just like those characters going on, is so bizarre. And it's the first we're going to see from this new thing that Warner Brothers is doing, which using the world in these movies on HBO Max, which we know is coming with the Batman universe, but they jumped right in with Peacemaker. And I think the show looked really good. And I think it could be a really big surprise. I think it's going to surprise people and be a real favorite show.
Ryan, I know that you have to head out soon, but any final Peacemaker or DC FanDome thoughts before we let you go?
Oh, for sure. Well, first off, I'll say the Suicide Squad. I wish I could have talked about that with you guys when it came out, because
I don't think we didn't talk about it, did we?
We didn't.
No, we didn't do one. Roxy, you were busy being a movie star.
Busy being a movie star. That was the week that came out, wasn't it? But no, it was incredible, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm really thrilled that they were able to shoot this show, I guess, right after it came out. I think this is their kind of answer to how Marvel's handling the shows debuting on Disney Plus, and combined with the movies coming out in theaters. I'm really interested in that, and how I'm not like one camp or the other. I love both, but I do think they have to kind of capitalize on how Disney's successfully doing this while also being their own thing. And I think this is a great example of that. I love the movie. I think this is the first. We're talking about The Rock earlier. This is the first role for John Cena that he completely disappeared from me. I totally saw Peacekeeper. I loved him in this. It's so funny.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
He doesn't keep it very well. He just tries to make it.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
I agree with you, Ryan. 100% feeling about Cena the same way.
He's great in it. And I think this show is going to be a really unique tone. Like, there hasn't been a comic book show like this. I think it's going to be that similar hard R. And the fact that James Gunn was as involved with it. And it sounds like that's what Matt Reeves is doing with this Gordon show. That's also going to be an HBO Max. So I think it's the more the merrier. I'm really thrilled. Cannot wait for it. And the tone is just perfect.
And how about Martin Sheen's haircut? Woo!
What did we decide is the next DC movie that's coming out? Is it the Batman?
We have decided it's the Batman.
So, Ryan, then we'll see you for conversation about the Batman in the future.
See you guys for the Batman. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you guys. I missed y'all.
Thanks
I
for
love
being
y'all.
here, friend.
See you, buddy.
I'm back in LA, so hopefully we can all hang.
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
Good luck,
Bye,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Hey, buddy.
Peace out.
Go
See you, pal.
Sixers.
All right. Oh, no, I thought it was going to work. Had to
No?
switch something around. There we
We're
go.
good. We're good.
We good. Let's move forward unless anybody else had any Peacemaker or the Suicide Squad thoughts. Mikey, did you have anything else?
No, I'll watch it. It's not like I'm a little thrown off on Vigilante in it. Like, he was the character I was looking forward to, and he seems like he's kind of a bumbling version of Peacemaker. Like, and I know that was an actor that was replaced. That guy's Corman McLagan from Harry Potter, and originally he was an actor, Chris Conrad, that was left due to creative differences. And now seeing the way the character is done, I'm like, oh, I wonder if that was where some of the creative differences came through.
That's crazy, really. I didn't
yeah.
realize an actor left that role.
Yeah, it was the guy, and he's such a minor role. He played Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, whoa.
He was the guy that replaced Lyndon Ashby. So that's how I knew the actor. And he was Vigilante. He's an much older actor than the guy that they got playing. So, and then he stepped out of the role for the creative differences. So now seeing it and seeing the role, I was like, oh, I thought Vigilante would have been kind of more of a straight lace, straight arrow, hunting down the Peacemaker. And now they're like kind of one and the same, where he wants to be him. So I'm like, okay, not what I would have thought about it, but
We'll see how it
it's
goes.
not my show I'm making. So, but I do love him in the role, and he was one of the highlights of the film. So
Let's hit this super chat from Cooley High, who said, Also, one more thing. If you haven't been watching Superman and Lois, you're missing out. What a wonderful TV show. Also, Wonder Woman 84 is fantastic. I think that the show Superman and Lois is really good, actually.
I was waiting for it to drop on HBO Max because it was all going to come to HBO Max, and I think it was done like upgraded to 4K. So I am in the middle of some stuff right now with work, but I want to sit down and watch it all. I hear such great things about that show.
Speaking of HBO Max, Dan V in the Streamlab says there will also be the Black Canary HBO Max film. I did not expect to hear about that film, though. Gal Gadot not appearing was weird since they were celebrating the 80th anniversary of the character without her. That was so strange. I felt so too.
I do get like, yeah, I don't know.
I didn't think it was like, holy shit, something.
Well, she was such a big presence last year. She was
Yeah.
such a big presence last year. I think it speaks to DC. Like, we have other actors, other people we want to highlight this year. So I think they're maybe not trying to put everything on Gal, like to be the face of, like, where Robert Downey Jr. was the face of the MCU. I think they're trying not to make her the face of this current, because she is the kind of, she's been in the most films, or I believe, yeah, she's been in the most films of any actor so far. So
is that true?
And many still rank Wonder Woman as their favorite in the DCE.
Yeah,
it's my favorite.
It's my favorite.
Definitely. Yeah, I love that freaking movie. I love it. Did we fully break down our Shazam thoughts? We might have.
No, we didn't really talk about Shazam.
Adam, kick us off. We got some Shazam footage.
Kick us off, Adam.
Yeah, well, I love. We got a lot. We got the first glimpses of Lucy Liu, and Helen Mirren as these goddesses, these evil goddesses that come in. I mean, Helen Mirren looked great.
Yeah, she did.
I love the new status quo with them all living their double lives as superheroes. We've had a lot of great first sequels to superhero movies, because when you get all that like origin story out of the way, you can just let them cook, as they say. Mm-hmm. So I'm really, really excited about the sequel. I think it's going to be, could even be better than the first one, because I just want to see how the whole dynamic is. How is the family, but still, how is Shazam the focus of it? I mean, are they all playing equal footing? It's going to be interesting to see. And like, is this going to end or imply the Black Adam involvement at some point with this film? Like, this is a film that's coming out in early 2023.
June 2nd, 2023.
June.
So not that early. Wow.
There's so much time before this movie comes out. So yeah, so I think if anything's going to happen with Shazam and Black Adam, like, that's probably going to already be, we're going to know about it by the time this movie comes out. Just because.
When are we going to see our first interaction between Shazam and Black Adam?
Next film.
Next what film?
After
Black Adam 2.
Shazam.
Black Adam 2,
probably.
Do you think there's going to be some kind of tease, though, coming up in Shazam?
I think they will announce a Black Adam and Shazam film. I don't think it will be a Black. I think they might do a Black Adam 2, but I could see them doing Shazam and Black Adam, like
in a post-credits sequence. Was that your question, Johnny? Like when you were saying a tease?
Because, Black Adam's coming out next year. So then we're going to have Shazam the following year. I'm thinking maybe in Shazam we'll see some kind of tease towards that.
I would agree.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. A couple things coming in from you guys at home. Shamir Kelly says, Roxy and guys, glad you're back. What did you think of the Flash TV show? And did you know, or TV show section, and did you know Legend of Tomorrow had 100 episodes? I didn't. I fell off seasons ago. I only kept up with Flash and Stargirl. Yeah, I get that. Even me, the DC TV CW queen, I have not been watching those
just
shows.
So much.
I had no clue.
We got a lot of CW show stuff. We saw that the Flash is getting the gold boots. We saw the house tour of Superman and Lois. We had that goodbye to Supergirl. We had some Stargirl footage. We had that Batwoman moment. We had the Legends 100 and 100. Are you guys watching any of these? What?
I'm watching Titans.
Well, that's not a CW show.
Oh, we're just talking CW show.
Yeah, these are just the CW.
See, I think Rox, back me up on this if you could.
Yeah.
I feel like we had it was the 2018 with DC Universe, the streaming that was going to do the shows, and which wasn't on what wasn't on this. And then we started getting then HBO Max, and then the pandemic. It just feels now like there's this divide where HBO Max feels like it's the higher quality show, like
1000%,
a little more money spent on them.
Oh, easy, of course.
And these
like the Doom
and the CW shows are kind of left And for the longest time, CW was looked at as that's the DC verse. And now because some of those shows like Lois and Superman goes to HBO Max now. It's like the
I
shows
kind
will
of felt
appear there.
bad
It's
a little
weird.
bit.
Yeah, you feel bad for them.
I felt bad when Grant Gustin was there, and he didn't look
Happy to
super
be there.
psyched.
No.
Yeah.
And when I thought this, and this was a bit snarky, and I apologize. I'm not trying to be snarky, but I thought it was like, wow, when all you brought was your new gold boots, it's time to hang it up. I thought, that's what they're talking about. They didn't say anything about the series where it's going or characters like, well, we've been building to the costume. You finally have your gold boots. It felt a little lackluster.
Yeah.
But to your point, I don't watch the shows anymore. I don't watch any of them. I fell off all of them, and I do watch the HBO Max ones. They just are too. It's just there's so much content out there. It's a pecking order, and at some point, it feels very formulaic. And the budget shows. You've been there.
I think the stuff with HBO too is like you're not beholden. You can do adult language, and you're not beholden to things on a CW show. I know it's the same casting that does the two shows, so that's involved, and the same acting's there. So it's. I just wish the CW would just take all of that and go to HBO Max. I don't. Maybe do 13 episodes of The Flash instead of 22, and give more budget per episode. I think that would
with you.
Have every single show on that show. Because look at Killer Croc. Did you see his reveal on Batgirl? They showed a picture of him. He looked better than he does in Suicide Squad. He looked fantastic. They did a math. It's all prosthetics. He looked better than Suicide Squad. So in
Batgirl.
In Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Yeah, she's gonna be. I think he's at the end of the season, or maybe it became on HBO or Entertainment Weekly. Did the picture? Just cut the shows from being 22 to 13, and give them extra budget.
The Batwoman teaser was strange to me because it seemed like they were trying to make it like a situational like a straight up sitcom. It was bizarre between the two of them, like with
Alice,
her and
Alice, and it's so not what the show is. So I felt like that was bizarre advertising of that. The only CW show that I'm watching right now is Superman and Lois, and I'm really liking it. But remember, all of these shows start off in a place that I really like all of them. So it's not that it's season 1,
But Rox, let me ask you this, because I remember when I saw they did a lot of hype for the first episode. They shot Superman and Lois like a movie.
Yeah.
Like just the cinematography, it looked gorgeous.
It doesn't look like the rest of the CW shows. It does.
And I think that's a problem where people are now getting these shows that look like movies, and they're like, well, why? I can't watch this anymore. I think there needs to be a change behind the scenes to get them all on the same page.
I know we'll probably get to
thing.
it. We're probably segueing to that right now. And I know you mentioned Titans. I watch Titans as well. I don't always like Titans. Sometimes I really don't, but they really swing big. They put you in a DC universe where things happened. It's implied.
Did you see the Hawk episode? Episode 3.
Yeah, I've seen everyone. I think I've seen every episode.
You like that, Rox?
No, I'm so pissed. All they do on that, I watch all of Titans. It fucking pisses me. I love Doom Patrol. Titans pisses me off. Titans took my 2 favorite characters and was like, one of them's gonna run off and the other one's gonna die. And
well, Rox, he's doing another show, so he had to go.
Yeah.
But I don't care about that as a TV watcher.
I know, but it pissed me off. He's my favorite too. He was my favorite.
He was
so great.
Good.
But that episode was great.
Yeah, okay. The episode was a good episode of TV, but I hated it.
I know. Okay.
I understand.
It's sad. Every moment on that show that I spend with a character I like, they end up leaving the show.
You went off to go do Jack Reacher. I can't wait.
Why?
He's doing Jack Reacher. That's my favorite book series of all time. Are you kidding me? He's going to be phenomenal. So I'm excited.
Well, that's good for you that you get to go watch that.
Well,
good for you.
Wish I could contribute here, but I'm someone who has cable but doesn't watch TV, so I'm not.
Well, you don't even need cable for this.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Johnny. It's
I'm
all
sorry.
Cam DeMello in the chat there. Titans 1 was rough. Season 1 was rough. Give season 2. Get to season 2. Trust me, one was rough.
Are none of you watching Doom Patrol?
I haven't watched any of the new ones yet. So wait, is the whole new 3rd season is up already, right?
I am only 2 episodes deep into the season. But
didn't they say today, like they announced that their season 4 is happening and season 3 is already streaming? Is it all of it?
That was
streaming?
for Titans.
No, I thought they said that from Doom Patrol as well.
Oh, perhaps they did. Did I miss it?
Might have been.
I just heard the Titans season 4.
Well,
which
I
I'm
don't
all
know.
on board for.
Going over a couple more TV things while we've gone to TV time fully. So as we're in TV time, when did I miss whatever the fuck this DMZ is?
Oh, I'm not familiar with the comic, but it sounds
kind of
pretty
know
cool.
the comic. That and Naomi I knew were being developed, but I haven't really followed much on it.
Is that the one that the Project Ava's doing?
Yeah, I guess
he's doing both of them, right?
I knew she was doing Naomi, but I did not. I completely missed it when she was like talking about DMZ. I googled what is DMZ.
I didn't know that Rosario Dawson was in it.
Yeah,
that was the thing that got me.
I have no idea. That one got buried for me. Did any of you guys see any of the Sweet Tooth show?
I did not watch it.
That was on Netflix, right?
I think so.
There's so much damn content out there right now.
And then Pennyworth season 3, I was like, I didn't even realize, but that's moving to HBO, I guess now. So maybe that's more watchable.
Just to confirm, guys, 6 episodes of season 3 of Doom Patrol are available for streaming now on HBO Max. I'm assuming that there's more episodes than that because there were in previous seasons, but I could have sworn I saw the messaging that season 1, 2, and 3 of Doom Patrol now streaming. So I don't know. Maybe if somebody's watching,
it's on HBO Max. I know that.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting to go and do it all. I was gonna kind of like, all right, I'll finish up Titans and then I'll just jump into Doom.
Thank
Patrol.
you, Alex. Yeah, Sweet Tooth is Netflix, and I've heard that got a lot of hype and it did really well.
So why is that on Netflix?
I don't know, Rox.
TV wise, what are you guys most excited about across all platforms? HBO Max, CW, Netflix, anything else? Is there a show
You're
that
talking
you
about
are
DC shows?
Any DC related show that we heard about today? I will say that we heard about today.
Everyone's telling me I gotta watch Squid Game, but I don't think that counts in this conversation.
It's really good. I'm really excited for more Harley Quinn, the animated series. I love that show, and it totally floats my boat. I'm excited for the Peacemaker show now. Looking forward for that, and I'm still super in on Superman and Lois. So those are the ones that really are connecting with me.
For me,
yeah,
it didn't even give me any footage trailer, but I have to say, probably the thing that I'm most excited for out of this entire
Batman Cape Crusaders.
Yes,
I knew it.
That Cape Crusader, like to hearing them talk about, and like if you've ever seen Bruce Timm interviewed, he's never excited about anything. Like he gets so bored about being asked about from people, about fans, about the old Batman in Justice League. Like he wants to move on and do different things. So to see him excited about something is incredible. Like, and if you ever remember like the early talk back in like 91 and 90, when they were doing the show, like they were being hampered by the studio, like what they couldn't do with Batman, and they wanted Robin in every other episode. And you saw the struggle with them. And again, this was back when like magazine articles were talking about it, but like to hear him say, this is the show I wanted to do 30 years ago. Like I'm so on board for this. And you guys know me, like I'm always against different voice actors for different projects. I don't want the same, but Conroy's got to come back for this because they're saying it's a prequel to the animated series. Like,
yeah,
I cannot wait for this show.
What about you, Johnny?
I'm going to have to stick with my sports entertainment roots and say Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I was going to say Sandman because I really feel like they're going to get it right. And I know that's what people are really worried about. And with Gaiman adaptations, it does not always happen. I think Sandman could potentially be huge. Like the possibilities there are tremendous. I think it's going to get that big budget, that Witcher treatment. It could be huge, but
where is it going to live?
Netflix.
What
we saw Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer. They released the image of today.
Yeah,
which is strange that it's on Netflix, but I think I think it's going to have a much bigger budget than your typical.
Okay.
Even like a Titans. I mean, this is going to be
Netflix.
Way
that's
bigger.
the budget. That's where they get the money on those shows.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be huge. But the Batman Cape Crusader, man, that was exciting to hear them talk about it. It was really, really
cool.
exciting.
And like the fact that they were talking about like we're going to keep the 40s vibe of like the clothing, the hairstyles, but like violent.
It's more Batman the Animated Series than Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, that was sick.
And just, oh man, to have all those people involved, like, I mean, I would have loved to have seen like a character shot of him in the, like just what they're looking at. Like, but
side note, have you guys listened to Batman, the audio adventures on HBO Max?
No,
is it good?
It's fantastic.
Is that the one
Really?
Winston Duke is doing or no?
No, that's Batman Unburied. That's going to be more like I think like a solo same adventure. Batman the Animated Series is almost like a Gotham radio variety show that cuts between different stories and has those multiple stories going on. And it has a very Batman the Animated Series 40s, 50s radio play kind of thing with incredible, great, like Sudeikis is in there and just tons and tons of voice talent is all over that place. A lot of SNL, a lot of other actors. The only annoying thing about it is that you have to have it on HBO Max to listen to it. And except for some changes in the background and the scenery, it's not a visual thing. So it's almost like you have to stare at the TV like you'd stared at the radio of old.
Yeah, love it.
But and it does look, there is a Batman shaped radio in the forefront of the thing, and then other parts of it change. But definitely check it out. It is really it's really unique. Really
Hot
cool.
tip. Thank you. A few things that we have to go over still because we are winding down. So get in those last minute Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. We want to know your questions, comments, concerns, things that you liked about this. We know we still have to talk about The Flash also, but while we're in TV time, Daniel Puerta in the Streamlabs said, can we talk about Smallville being 20 years? I was 9 when it came out, and it really was the show that made me fall in love with live action shows. Also, so glad you're all back. The only thing I was excited about FanDome was you all were coming back.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy. The anniversary stuff. I really did like the 80th of Wonder Woman and the Smallville anniversary. And I think that the fact that they got Michael Rosenbaum was so shocking to me because do you guys remember he like doesn't come back?
He wasn't going to come back for the finale. He didn't come back for the finale, did he?
No, he didn't. He said they didn't pay me enough.
Kind of done like a big turn on that. Like,
yeah. So I was shocked he was there.
Yeah,
But
He was cool. It was cool seeing
funny.
him.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was talking to me about Thomas C. Wilson, the guy that plays Biff in Back to the Future. And for the longest time, all anyone ever wanted to talk about was Back to the Future to him. And he's like, I've had a career. And he would kind of get rude about it. Or, eventually he's like, look, after this, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But now time has passed and he now has embraced how important this was to people and fans of this film.
Also,
so maybe Michael Rosenbaum's in that place now where he's like, enough time has passed. It's 20 years. And maybe now he realizes how important, like someone said in the chat, when 9, when they saw that, like that informed their childhood.
Yeah.
A show like that.
Majorly.
I mean, I think you're right. I've actually opened for Tom Wilson a number of times because he does stand up. Oh, one of the nicest human beings I've ever worked with, one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. And never did I see him have a crossword with anybody. He was grateful to see every fan at the show. So maybe, like I said, this was all in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, that's
5-6 years. So maybe it was I don't know him prior to, but I can tell you he was as gracious as can be and one of the coolest dudes.
That's what this guy said. He's like, yeah, he just turned a corner and realized how important that film was for everyone. And better play. So hopefully he's like that.
What I've heard about Michael Rosenbaum is just that he wants to be paid for his time. That seems to be
as an actor, that comes down to it. Absolutely.
And they were not. So he said no. And then the fans were like, what the fuck? And he was like, they didn't pay me. So I didn't do it.
I mean,
I thought they were talking about, did he say he came back for the last episode or something that he came back for? And
called Smallville.
Right. So he was in the finale of Smallville.
He wanted.
Are we talking the Crisis thing?
But now, yes, I was talking about Crisis. They didn't pay him to come
did he come back for Smallville? I didn't know he came back for that. Wasn't that the one like it waited to the last minute that he was going to come back for it?
And then he came back for the actual series finale episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Then I was wrong.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not going to argue with anyone.
Years ago.
And I think we're all in the same boat here. We're not going to argue with anyone who knows their worth and wants to be paid accordingly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we've all been in the struggle for years.
I do remember that was with the Crisis in CW that they couldn't pay him for it.
Yes, and he was like, I don't want to do it.
I'm like, then you're an actor and you got to stand up for your right.
It's your job.
Nothing wrong with that.
In the Streamlabs, Chrissy says, just love seeing you guys back together. I had to step away a couple times during FanDome. Did they talk about Michael B. Jordan's Superman?
No, not at all.
What do you guys think about that?
There's nothing to talk about. Don't talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, again, you got a good slate for 2022 and some glimpses of things that are 2023. So I just think that stuff just isn't far enough
You made a good point, Adam.
Yes.
I think this FanDome thing is going to be a yearly thing now.
Yeah.
Even if
hope so.
they might be skipping Comic-Con from now on because I think it worked for them. And
I
that
thought,
means,
Mike, for 3.5 hours to get to bang it all out in the comfort of your home.
yeah,
Maybe I'm an old fogey. I'm totally happy with this, man.
There will nothing that will beat a Hall H vibe. But you don't want to spend all day there sometimes. Like this, and they control the way it happens. They control the stars that come out. They control the atmosphere. I think this is going to be a new thing. And if they do it again in October, I think is a weird time. But they had to hype up 2022 coming up. So I think maybe a Christmas thing would have been a great Christmas gift. But whatever they pick, you're right, Adam. They've got their slate full for 2022. They're not talking about things in 2023, 2024. So they'll talk about that at the next FanDome.
But speaking of this being a yearly thing, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Warner Brothers. Thank you for sending me all this awesome FanDome swag. They sent me like a ton of different books and this like hysterical little popcorn maker. That's a Superman thing.
Okay.
I like that hat, Rox. Looks
good.
good.
You got one of those?
Cool,
you got one of those popcorn maker things?
Yeah, I did.
Jealous.
It's really on all this stuff is cool. And I'm excited about this one because I don't know if you guys know I like to doodle and draw. And this is a how-to draw with the superheroes and villains. So, maybe I'll get my artist stuff on.
You're a doodler. We all knew that.
Rocks.
Going back into the Streamlabs, Kurt Hagen says, "Hey, Roxy and crew, just wanted to throw some support. And I just got here and I haven't been able to watch any of the trailers or anything yet. So as soon as your show is over, I'll go watch them back. Thank you for being here before you're even watching any of this stuff. But feel free to leave us to go do that because otherwise we'll spoil it all for you." I think the only movie that we didn't really touch on is The Flash. We talked a little bit about Ezra's choker, but that was the only reference or mention. Mike,
that boy has an interesting look, man.
Yes,
he does. Interesting approach.
Good for him.
So, what are you guys thinking about The Flash? Mike, I'm jumping to you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just needless of what you want to say, like, well, people are excited about the Batman in a Flash movie. I can't argue that. The fact that the minute that car pulled up and the score for Batman was playing, and you hear Michael Keaton's voice, like that for me, I tweeted out, it brought me back to summer of '89. I was 14 years old at the AMC Coral Springs movie theater seeing Batman for the first time. Like this just works for me. This, like everything about it, the Batcave, and knowing that it was designed by Anton Furst, and that's the design they went with, and the car. And yes, it's a Batman, but then to see 2 different Flashes show up at that one point, like this works for me, this film. I don't know what they're doing with it, but I don't know if it's, people are saying, well, people are going to get confused. And I say this, if they're going to do this film, they're going to talk about time travel and they explain what's happening. Michael Keaton, everyone over the world over knows Michael Keaton is Batman. And if they explain what's happening in the film, I don't think people are going to be lost. I don't think, I don't know. Yeah. I see a lot of hate for like
in the world.
A lot of hate for like everyone in the world knows Michael Keaton is Batman.
You think that younger gen?
Michael Keaton is Batman.
I don't know that Gen Z knows Michael Keaton is Batman.
Yeah. Good point.
Well, maybe I'm out of it. It's like, let me ask you this. Do you think Gen Z knows Christopher Reeve is Superman?
I don't
really
think so. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
I think those who were raised
Roxy,
with parents
it's kind of like us. Do we know, Dorothy, Wizard of Oz? Do we know who plays that?
But we didn't grow up with 5,000 Vine stars, like TikTok stars. Like I think that.
But what does that have to do with DC?
I just think that there's more celebrities now, so there was less people to know. When I think that DC fans, the Gen Zs that are like, I love DC, then they know who Michael Keaton played. But I wouldn't say that the average Gen Z person. If I called my sister right now,
so let me ask you, Rox, would you say because I see a lot of comparisons between this and the new Spider-Man film? Are the same people going, who the hell's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man?
I think so.
Really?
But also, I'm really excited for The Flash and like it. And I don't think that has to be explained. I don't think everybody needs to know who he is. I think that's fine. We'll see him as Batman. They'll know who's Batman.
Okay.
I think that's
fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And I think Roxy's right. I think, look, Michael Keaton hasn't been Batman since the early 90s. I mean, that's a long ways away. But I do agree with Mike. As long as the movie makes sense from the beginning, to me, I'm going to love it. I know I will. But it has to make sense because there's certain things with The Flash that are just really kind of all over the place. So trailer was awesome. So, hey, party on.
I can totally get the comparisons to the new Spider-Man movie. In a weird way, right now I'm more excited for The Flash, which is odd, just because I'm so bothered by how much people are leaning into the Spider-Man thing and what they want to know and demanding this and demanding that.
I'm so bothered
by not wanting to be surprised by anything. And
right.
It's just like a world in which, like, if you saw, let's say Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire show up in a Spider-Man movie, like, if that could have been kept a secret, the audiences who saw that would have had the greatest moment. And that's just denied because people are they're beating the crap out of this thing. And to that same effect, I'm sorry that it's not a surprise that Michael Keaton is in this movie, but I think they're really smartly leaning into that and saying, like, yeah, the Flash movie, I don't know how the Flash is going to do on its own, but we're going to put Batman in this movie, just like we put Iron Man in your Spider-Man movie. It's going to make it go down. Yeah. It is going to make people of the older generation who do know Keaton are going to be interested in wanting to see him do this.
Boom.
So,
how many people to this day are still clamoring for him in a Batman Beyond film? Like, kids that grew up with Batman Beyond that didn't know the 89 film were like, hell yeah, Michael Keaton needs to be Batman in this film. Like, this is, to me, it doesn't feel like, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, they're trying to fix it. It just,
I do agree.
Michael Keaton, to agree to come back for the role. Like, he didn't have to come back for it. Like, and for the longest time, he was done with it. He's like, no, I'm not doing Batman anymore. But now he's back and wants to do it.
He did a movie mocking
this feels something
basically.
Special.
Like,
this
he did Birdman. It's crazy that he would be Batman again after doing Birdman. Like, that's insane.
And I'll say this. It's weird how a music can affect you, because when I first heard the Batman theme, when Danny Elfman talked about Justice League, and he was like, of course I'm using the Batman theme. There's only one Batman theme. And you're kind of like, well, it's not your Batman that you're using that theme for. And it played in the movie and it was cool, but you're like, it just hits weird. And this, where it's homaging, like, they're using the actual Wayne Manor from the 89 film. Like, it works. It brings it back to you. And I think it's smart, because it's like, and I say this about the new Bond film where they use On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And there's people that grew up with the Craig films that have no idea what that movie is, but there's the music plays and it brings you back 50 years ago. For the older fans and the older generations. I think this movie is two generations coming together, and I think it's incredibly smart how they're doing it.
Yeah. And to your point, I'm sorry, Rox, go ahead.
I just said me too. That was my full stop.
I was going to say, to your point, Mike, I mean, I do believe a younger audience is way more likely to recognize Michael Keaton versus Val Kilmer or George Clooney. I think
of course.
So I see your point there. That's very true.
Let's go into the Streamlabs. Stephen Sommer says, I'm fine with Keaton in The Flash, but not okay with Ezra after he choke slammed a woman. Hope he gets rebooted and anything above anything else. Also, did you know Pennyworth was on season 3? No, I didn't know Pennyworth was on season 3. Yeah. I did realize the irony of the choking situation, and then everybody hashtagging about choker.
But were they never, I don't know, they never addressed that, right?
I know.
They never did.
And they're not going to. They're just not going to address it. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Like, either we stay on it and we never accept him and we don't see the movie, or we say we don't know and we move forward, and clearly DC is moving forward with him. So
I think it's kind of along the lines of the Amber Heard stuff. She's in the movie. She's definitely not going to be part of the PR tour.
But Ezra Miller is the Flash.
Well, that's yeah.
It's a little bit harder to not make him part of the PR tour.
That's true.
John Spiliotopoulos says, miss you guys. Friday night has not been the same without you all. Are you guys getting back together on Popcorn Talk or on any other format anytime soon? I don't think that any of us have any information on that. What I'll say is that right now, what it seems like we've been doing is reconvening for any of the big moments on DC that we want to talk about, whether it's movies that are released or FanDome. And for as long as these guys will do it with me, we'll definitely try to hang out with each other and talk all things DC when something big happens. Other than that, I don't know.
Because most importantly, all of us are friends, and we don't get a chance to talk all the time. And so it's We love doing it too. And by the way, John, your last name is one of the coolest last names I've ever seen.
Wow, it takes one John to know another John.
That's right.
Cool last names across the board. I know that you guys wanted to talk more video game stuff. I don't even know enough to ask. There was some footage that I thought was cool, something about Suicide Squad against Justice League that I was like, oh, that's cool. What am I looking at? What is the video game things that we need to know?
They were the two. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League and Gotham Knights. Adam, let me ask you, because last year we only got that little teaser of Suicide Squad meets the Justice League. This one we got a full-on trailer. Rocksteady with Sefton Hill, I think the guy, the head creative guy, they have my not deepest respect. When they have your
utmost
goodwill. Like, they've earned the goodwill. Their games are phenomenal. I will say this with Gotham Knights. Last year, remember they gave us like 20 minutes of gameplay and more like into the story. They just showed a trailer. And they pushed that game. That game was supposed to come out in 2021. They pushed it again. That game actually, I'm like, something's wrong with this thing. What's going on?
You think Gotham Knights has got problems?
Yeah. Last year, they showed us full-on gameplay. Like, he was playing the game. They showed a trailer, played the game, talked about the game. Then a couple months after, they delayed the game a year. And now this time, we just got a trailer. I'm just like, all right, what's going on here? Something's not right. They didn't give any gameplay again.
I was definitely not as suspicious. I was just so into the idea that we're getting this like Court of Owls thing. I just thought that was so cool.
But they showed less than they showed last year.
I guess.
It's just weird. It's weird. There's been no talk really excited for a long time.
I just wanted to get one of those new systems, and I need to get this. I need to get both of these games. There's no question. I want the Suicide Squad game. It just seems like they're perfect characters to be in a game. It's almost better that you have like less reverence or you're less invested in them and you could have more fun with them, than having to be Superman or be Batman all the time, which is great. But it's going to be really fun to be like King Shark and to be Captain Boomerang. It just seems like it's going to be a blast. And yeah, I mean, the Nightwing, Batgirl, the action that you did see, it looks great. And we know Batman is going to show up somehow too. They totally threw us off that. But with no dates, though. Am I wrong?
No, 2022 actual dates for both of them. They said no,
just 2022. We don't know when. I mean,
they pushed when they did Arkham Knight. They pushed that a couple times, and the final result was worth it. So the Suicide Squad game, I'm not worried about. Rocksteady with those guys involved, it's going to be awesome. The Gotham Knights, that was the one I was all on board for, and now the more and more that they're not showing us and giving us anything, I'm kind of like, is this going to be one of those games where they're going to do like the Avengers where you got to pay to upgrade your character and all the experience points and all that? Like, is this going to be, are they in the middle of or seeing what happened with the Avengers game over the past year and go, oh God, we got that on our hands. We got to fix this. I don't know. Something's weird with it that they didn't show anything.
I think these games are just enormous and they take so much has been said about how
I could be wrong.
Expensive these AAA games are. And that's why a lot of studios are even stopped making them and they go more for the mobile stuff because these games, they're just they're so, and they cost hundreds of millions of dollars and they make that too. So I'm not as worried by pushing it because that just means to me that there's more glitches. There's more things that they have to fix. I agree. Avengers was like a bust, but that's just because that kind of game is not fun for me. I don't have that kind of time. I want to play like the Arkham games.
And I'm just hoping that Gotham Knights is not going to be that pay to play upgrade all the time.
All right. I'm done with game talk for now.
Okay. No more game talk. You can follow us at Game Talk. Game Talk with Mikey Christmas.
GameTalk.com.
We are getting out of here in our final moments. If anything else to say, plus I just want to hear the one DC property that you are, whether it's show, game, movie, that you are looking forward to the most. Mike, where can the people find you? What are you looking forward to? Say goodbye to us. I'm going to
find me at Mike Kalinowski. I have a big announcement that I'm going to be doing December. Yeah, December.
You're announcing it in December, or you're doing it in December?
I'm announcing it in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Announcing it in December. What a tease.
Yeah, I know. Because I've been able to talk about it or hint at it for so long, and
I
finally have a date. I can't tell you.
Oh.
But for me, honestly, I'm going to go off on a limb here and say the Cape Crusader. That was the thing that got me the most hype. I didn't need more hype for the Batman. I'm on board. The Flash was fantastic, but the Gotham or Cape Crusader, that thing, I mean, it got me going. I need to see something right now for that. Like the Flash, if I don't see anything till the film, I'm golden. I'm on board. But this Cape Crusader is like I'm jonesing. I want something I want a picture. I want a concept art or something for that show.
Oh, that's your number one. Damn, Adam.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, listen, it's hard for the answer not to be the Batman. Been waiting a long time for this movie. That's got to be the answer. But way more excited for the Flash than I thought I would be. Ditto of Black Adam. Now I'm really intrigued. Still have the same questions about it, but man, at least at this point, it's still Christmas until it gets ruined.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all about the Batman because also I'm about to have my daughter, Poppy Sue. She's about to be born. And March, that's going to be like one of the first babysitter nights, maybe. I don't know. It's going to be a different world. Like we're going to be sneaking out and like leaving my daughter in her little Batgirl or Batperson onesie. And
with Roxy, probably, yes.
Yes, I'm a very good babysitter. I would trust me implicitly. Okay.
I will say though, I'm really lucky this week. October 21st, I believe, Thursday, I'm going to be on the Doughboys, one of my favorite podcasts about chain restaurants, and they're doing their Dog Dough Bark Fest for the month of October. Dog Dough Bark Fest. Talking about hot dogs, and I went to an AMC movie theater and tried out hot dogs and their whole menu, and we will be reviewing AMC theater hot dogs this Thursday on the Doughboys.
All right,
Johnny, talk to me.
I'm gonna follow up and be a basic boy here and just say, the Batman clearly, Black Adam. I did love the Flash trailer, and who couldn't love Shazam in 21 months or whenever that's going to be. So yeah, that's pretty simple on my end. As far as me goes, well, since we last spoke, my comedy special has been released. It's currently streaming on Roku, Tubi, and Zumo. It's real simple. If you want to watch it, it's called Johnny LaQuasto Physical Therapy. Go to quastospecial.com, and it has all the links. You watch for free. It's just a couple ad breaks. Feel free to let it run over and over again in silent while you're doing your laundry. Just let it play 10 times a day if you want. I think that counts. And I'm going to be the lead in a video game. I can't say what it is, but I've been working on it for a couple of months. It should be out early next year. One of the leads in a video game, I should say. So that's
an announcement for announcement also. You guys all have these announcements for your announcements.
Yeah, but I've been told it's going to be a regular release everywhere. Like I said, you know how video games are. They're very cheeky with what they tell you, but it's been a really cool process. And so fingers crossed.
I have a favor to ask of all of you guys at home before you get out of here. Tomorrow, I am doing a 5K for the National Brain Tumor Society. Today is the last day to support. For those of you guys who don't know, because you hear me talk about DC and comics and things like that, I lost my mom 10 years ago to brain cancer, and my sister puts together this 5K every year. I'm going to put a link in the chat. If you are able to support, it would mean the world to me. Even $1, $5, whatever it is. It is one of the most underfunded diseases, and I had her doctor tell me one time that if they had more money that they would have cured this thing by now, and that always stuck with me. So if you guys can support, I really, really appreciate that you do. Me trying to multitask and put this link in here.
And please let us, we'll tweet it out as well if you want to do that.
Oh, thanks, friend. And also it's very impressive that I'm even doing this, because for those of you guys who have ever seen me, I'm the slowest human being on the planet.
I would love to see you run that.
I think it's going to be a little bit of a walk run. I think I'm going to do a little jog situation. I am so painfully slow. I look like Phoebe when I move. It's just an uncomfortable thing, but whatever. It's for a good cause. And my team so far, I think we've raised like $7,000. So
damn, okay,
our way through. Wow. Yeah, we're feeling good about it.
Do that 5K. Take swigs of whiskey throughout. You're good.
I am 100% drinking on this 5K. I cannot.
Oh boy. Oh god.
I know.
I know my Roxy. I know what she's planning.
I know. I'm going to do the best I can. So thank you guys in advance for your support on that. Other than that, though, thanks for joining us for DC Movie News Reunion on behalf of Ryan Nelson, Mike Kalinowski, Johnny LaQuasto. Adam Gertler, and myself. We love you guys a lot. We will be back at some point in life. I feel that's true. Is that a false promise that I'm making?
Yeah.
I think that's
no.
an okay one to make.
Roxy,
Always
we're gonna
back.
be back because we are vengeance.
Oh, wait. Everybody has to say it the way
Okay.
I am vengeance.
Perfect. Let's land on that one.
Oh, okay.
And on that.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. Much love to all you guys. And we'll probably see you for the Batman.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.